I'm going to show you some more numbered chords to play on the guitar. Now, this lesson is a follow-up to the video lesson that I had. It's called The Quickest and Easiest Way to Start Playing Songs on the Guitar Using the Number System. And in that video, I show the chords that you're going to run into when using the G form. Let me write this. G form. And that is, the G form is the easiest form to get started on when you're first learning the guitar. And it's probably the most used as well for modern types of, voicings. But once you learn that, and if you want to explore more, this is the video for you. Because in this video, I'm going to show you the 4 other forms that exist. Now, you might be asking, 4 others? What are you talking about? Well, let me show you. There's 5 forms to learn on the guitar. And the first form is the C form. Second form is the A form. Third form is what you've already learned if you watched that video, which is the G form. Now, by the way it works is when you're in C form, there are certain chords that are going to appear over and over again if you are in the C form. Same thing with A. When you're in A, there's going to be different chords that appear over and over again. G, I think I showed you like 7 chords that, will come up most often. And this is kind of how it works. What you want to do is learn one form at a time so that you can memorize the numbered chords that are associated with that form. All right, here's the 4th one. C, A, G. E is the next form, used a lot. And the last one is the D form. And these 5 forms spell out the word caged. And you might have heard this before. And once you start exploring the guitar and guitar theory, this is a word you're gonna run into all the time. But for the purpose of this video, all you need to know is each one of these letters has certain chords that are associated with it. I like to think of them more like in families. So in the G form, there's 4, 5, 6 chords that are going to come up all the time. And the same goes for each one of these. All right, now you might be asking, well, why do I need to learn all 5 of these forms? Isn't one form enough? As long as you have a capo, you can play in any key. And the answer is yes. You only need one form to technically play. However, you're going to have to capo up pretty high for certain keys. And it's not going to sound necessarily good up there just because of tuning and intonation and, just ukulele high type of sounding chord voicings you're going to get. You're not going to want that all the time. And so to be able to learn some of these other forms is going to help you keep the capo lower on the guitar. The other thing is here, voicing. And these different forms are going to have different voicings on how they play the chord. Now, a great way for me to explain that is just to tell you that play the same song in the same key, even using G form versus using the C form, even though the chords are exactly the same, the song is the same, they're going to sound different in the way the chords sound. And certain forms sound better for certain songs. And there's no rule other than that. That's just how it happens. And for you to be able to explore all the different forms so that you can, kind of be able to be creative to say, I want this type of sound in this song. And so I like this form, whether it's C, E, or D, is a very good thing to be able to do because it'll give you a ton of options in how to play the song and how it's going to sound. So the best way to learn about this, I'm just talking a lot here, but the only way for you to learn what I'm talking about is to actually do it. And so, by the way, these chords that I'm going to show you are all going to sound modern. So to play traditional songs using these chords it's not going to sound right. So this is more for the modern type of worship, or, pop type of songs that you would hear. All right, so here we go. Let me show you this real quick. This would be the best way for you to explore. So I can't put an actual song up here because it's going to break some copyright laws, and I don't want to do that. So I just took a song that we use at our church, and I just changed the lyrics. The chords are the actual chords we use. But it doesn't matter what the lyrics are, as long as you know how to read these chord charts. And if you don't, this is a numbered chord chart. You can go check out some previous videos on how to do that. But just to start playing these chord progressions using one form, and then after you learn the other form, play the same song using those forms. And you can key it wherever you want using a capo. And just to kind of be able to tell, man, that 4 chord in the C form, I really like the way that sounds, versus, yeah, well, in the G form, the 4 doesn't sound as good, that type of thing. And you want to be able to learn that. And that's what learning all 5 of these forms is going to show you. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to put up one form after another, and I'm just going to expect you to pause this video when you're learning one at a time, so that I'm going to go through these quickly, and so you can just go back and pause on the one you're working on. The other thing that I would highly, highly suggest is that you don't try to learn all 5, or in this video I'm going to show 4, all of those at one time, but focus on one form at a time. Maybe take a week to learn just one form, or maybe even a month. And just really explore that before you move on, because what's going to happen, I promise you, because we're using the number system, and every form is going to have a 1 chord, 4 chord, 5 chord, 6 chord, 2 chord. And if you try to do too many at one time, you're going to go later on and try to play in one form and say, oh, what was the 4 chord? And you're going to get mixed up what the actual chords are going to be for each form. I'm kind of getting confused even trying to explain it to you. But I would highly suggest, and you're going to get farther quicker by learning only one form at a time. But since I didn't want to make 4 different videos on this, that is why I just put it all in one. So here we go. The first form, other than the G form, you've already learned, is the C form. So it looks like this. Let me remind you again, the X's mean those are the strings that you don't want to ring. And you remember, if you're a beginner, you don't need to worry about that. But I'm assuming if you're checking out this video, you've already learned the G form and you're not a beginner anymore. So you're going to have to find a technique to help you mute these strings. And there's plenty of great videos on YouTube that will help you do that. So these are the chords in C form. And by the way, I put these all in order of importance. So 1, most important. 4 and 5, these are the 3 most important chords in any form. And then I would say 6. You know what? I shouldn't say most important. I should say the most common. So these are the chords that are going to come up the most often. 1, 4, 5, 6. I would learn these 4 first, because you can play gazillions of songs just using those 4. And then if you got those, go down to here. 2, 3, flat 7. Okay, here is the next form, the A form. Like that. So you can just pause, and I'm going to move on to the next one. Here is the E form. And the last form is the D form. Now, with all 5 of these forms, you have basically all 5 possibilities of how to play guitar in open positions. And it will give you plenty, in fact, all the variety that you will ever need to play songs, especially modern or, modern worship songs. So there you go.